So this is something that popped up on my feed, which I thought you might be quite interested in. Now, I don't want to. People already think that we've got a bit of a boner for Stanford. I don't love everything she's done in education, but there are some things that I go, props, Stanford, props to you, props to you. One of them being that she wants to get rid of something that my household statistician literally came home and complained about, and he's like, I don't know why the fuck this exists, I want it gone. She might be removing it at the request of the education Ministry of Education and things. A bit of a divided opinions on that particular thing. But anyway, this is something different. Compulsory consent education proposed for schools.
Yes, I did see this earlier today.
What would you call
sex education?
Yeah, it's in sex education. I was thinking
/health education.
Yeah, I was thinking consent is like sexual consent, but it's actually
it's a wide variety. Yeah.
So the Ministry of Education is consulting on whether consent education should be made compulsory in schools. It released the draft Relationships and Sexuality Framework for consultation this week, outlining the proposed teaching to be covered in Relationships and Sexual Education, RSE, each year from years 0 to 13. It aims to ensure the content is age-appropriate, evidence-informed, and detailed about what is taught and when. Research conducted by ERO last year highlighted significant inconsistencies in the delivery of REC across the country. It found more than 3/4 of recent school leavers said they didn't learn enough about consent. Young people have been very clear that consent education is important to their development and have advocated for this inclusion in the national curriculum. We have ensured that age-appropriate consent education is present in all year levels of the draft framework. So I had a look. And I found the proposed changes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one for families. There is a full one for like teachers where it really explains it, but this kind of gives you the overview. Not a teacher. I can't really talk to any of these things and what's appropriate. It's not really my field of expertise. It's the sort of things you would expect, though, from years 0 to 1. So your age 5 and 6, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, all the way through to year 13. 12, does it go up to year 12 and 13?
Yeah.
So in the first year, we're talking family structures, making friends, understanding feelings, asking for help. There's a wee bit about seeking and refusing permission. Responding safely to adults, personal space, digital devices, safe and unsafe secrets, and these things like my body, which is your body parts, body similarities, differences. So really starting at what kids learn, just things that kids need to learn about themselves, and things like respect, bullying. There is a wee bit of there in year 2, so you got consent. So it goes from seeking or refusing permission to consent, which is saying yes or no to a request. And then safe and unsafe secrets. I don't know how far away you guys are from primary school. I remember learning some of these things, but maybe not explicitly. But safe and unsafe secrets is one that I can think of.
Yeah, I think the problem is that education's so like different across the country that I don't think it's consistent or hasn't been.
And also throughout the ages as well, because I was a 2000s kid, year 5. Yeah, year 2000. So I think where it starts to get probably more interesting. So year 7 is year 8 is the last year of intermediate primary. It's kind of like, it's still technically under the primary. It's a different union. I can just think of it as union to the post-primary. 2 different unions, but essentially they more so fall into the primary sector than they do the high school sector. So in year 8, they're talking about sexual attraction and orientation, healthy sexual activity, personal safety and relationships, trustworthy online information sources, online risks, content sharing and social media, legal age of consent, harmful sexual behaviors and consequences, judging when relationships are unsafe and seeking help, reproductive system development, physical and emotional changes during puberty, menstrual variations, when to seek medical attention, and reproductive systems. So to give context,
so good.
Yeah. So to give my personal context, I guess. In year 8, and probably even year 7, year 8 specifically, I remember some of the kids, especially the girls in my class, were sexually active. And I know for some of you, that's 12 and 13-year-olds, some of you would go, what? But that was actually things that were happening. Sometimes even younger than that, which was...
Yep.
Not me, but I mean, you know, different people, different life stages, different things.
Different traumas.
That's what it is.
And horrible
so going through the stuff and seeing the sort of like at least the harmful sexual behaviors, legal age of consent, that sort of thing is really good to see there. And I don't think this is too different from what I probably came across. The big one being online risks, content sharing, and social media is definitely new in the curriculum. Then you've got year 9s and 10s. So looking at this, they've also got year 11, 12, and 13. This stuff is really irrelevant, I guess, because from year 11 onwards, for the majority of students, health ed and sex ed is no longer compulsory. It's sort of lumped into physical health and PE. So this sort of stuff is, I mean, it kind of goes into things like fertility and infertility, perspectives on sexual influence by cultural values and religious beliefs. So getting a little bit more high level about it. But what we want to know is what they'll learn before they come out of that compulsory system.
Yeah.
They no longer have to take sex ed, which I would hope that most students at least get to year 10 and learn. I think they even say it in the full curriculum. This is massive. Year 12 and 13, RSE content is combined to accommodate the significant variability in student pathways. In these years, students can pursue different subjects and qualification choices, which may have their own RSE-related requirements. And I would even say year 11 is the same, unless they've changed the curriculum, which they might lump it into science or something. I'm not 100% sure. So in their last year of compulsory, or at least what I remember being compulsory, you've got diverse values and interactions, communicating effectively when relationships need outside help, sexual harassment, including online, consent and sexual activity, harmful behaviors and impacts, menstruation issues, biological sex, hormonal changes, strategies and products for safe sexual behavior, accessing accurate information and support.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Probably the thing that kind of relates to this was something that good old Winnie,
my favorite person,
poked his head up a few months ago saying the previous non-compulsory guidelines, which were removed, were woke and out of date. Those guidelines provided optional advice for schools on how to teach children about relationships and sexuality, and aspects are likely to be included in the new curriculum, which will be mandatory for schools to teach, subject to the consultation. The old guidance taught different age groups about consensual relationships, online bullying, sexualities, gender identities, and pornography, but were scrapped last June under the National and New Zealand First Coalition deal. So, that's no longer compulsory. This is now the proposed compulsory
the replacement
teachings. I don't know whether or not teachers have the discretion and schools have the discretion to be able to add those things back in.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, you'd hope so, but at the same time, considering cunt Stella recently, fuck, probably not.
I wonder if this is a bit of a puff piece to appease the left. It's kind of the feeling I get.
I mean, it's definitely it's a good thing, but it's because they took out a bunch of really good things that was already existing and are now, having to start over and kind of, because like always, they've just gotten rid of it, but they didn't actually have any fucking backup. They just figured it out at some point. And I mean, I'm stoked to see that that's in there, but I'm not stoked that their sex education had already been gutted to begin with. Also, I really liked this comment. Is having a relationship woke? Honestly, in this economy, I think so.
So it does say in year 8, sexual attraction and orientation. I'll just have a look and see if they expand on that. Year 8. What have we got? 5 to 6, 8 to 9
Also,
year
this
olds,
is a
teens.
good point. This doc is largely a product of the ministry, which will not be staffed with anti-woke zealots. Or would be. Who knows? I mean, they don't even have a lot of the good researchers in there anymore.
Yeah, so it only goes as far as some people are sexually attracted to people of the opposite sex, heterosexual or straight, and the same sex, homosexual, although preferred terms usually include lesbian or gay, or both sexes, bisexual. Well, they got bisexual in there.
Yeah,
It's a
so
little bit woke.
no, that's the thing is though, bisexual. Of course, they're going to pick the one that technically highlights a binary.
Some people may be, hey, they got asexuals in there too. Some people may not experience sexual attraction towards another person asexual.
That's surprising.
So that's surprising. That is very
I mean, I doubt
surprising.
they'll teach it accurately, but it's surprising.
The last thing I'm going to actually look up is intersex. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, interesting. Year 10, 14 to 15-year-olds. Chromosomes, hormonal levels, and anatomy are all determined whether people are considered biologically male or female. Sometimes people have a mixture of the term for have a mixture, and the term for this is intersex. That's only time.
Good to see, but it'd be interesting to see what the differences would be if we had the say a document of what they've just removed versus
That's what I so I tried to look for that and I
Mm.
couldn't find it very easily.
Mm.
Year 4, you've got gender stereotypes. So to see what else we've got for gender, identifying or responding to gender stereotypes, for example, favorite colors and career aspirations. Act in a way that are inclusive for everyone, regardless of differences such as gender, ethnicity, behaviors. Those based on gender, culture, sexuality, religion. Gender stereotypes can exist. So it's more about stereotypes than necessarily the differences.
Mm. I mean, hey, at least there's a mention.
Yeah.
That's something. And I'm still glad. Like, I mean, I would have loved to have this kind of education properly when we were in schools. And because again, it depended on which school you went to, what kind of education you got. So like I think it would be really good to start, just I think I've seen quite a few comments. I think there we go. It's really hard as a kid and teen to understand consent when you aren't allowed to say no to adults. Life is dictated by them. And that's why like I'm a huge proponent of the whole like don't force your kids to hug people or kiss people, because when you teach them at such foundational ages that it doesn't matter what they want, it's what you tell them, that already complicates their perspective on autonomy and all of those things.
And that has been added in here, ages 5 to 6, 0 to 1, years 0 to 1, seeking or refusing permission, and then in year 2, consent, e.g. saying yes or no to a request. So I'll just have a quick look and see what that's been expanded to mean. Saying yes or no to requests from others is called giving consent. Everybody has boundaries, and those boundaries. So, yeah. Not quite. It's not really explicit in that particularly, but I guess that's what the teacher discretion will be about.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I reckon while you're looking for something, I can show people something cute that's related to this. I got something. I'm sure some people may have seen this before, but I'll just refresh it so that it starts from the beginning.
Don't you like touching my hair? Please stop. I don't like that. Feel not comfortable. I need more space. Not around me. Don't take it personally. That's just a boundary.
Like that shit's so cute.